Welcome to 5 Minute Summaries. Today we will be dealing with Ezra Pound. The lifetime of Ezra Pound is between 1885 and 1972. He is an American expatriate poet and critic born to Quaker Puritan parents. He is a major figure in the early modernist poetry movement, and he is a fascist collaborator in Italy during the World War II. His major works include Repostus 1912, Huge Sylvan Moberly 1920, and an 800-page epic poem, The Cantos. He is an active writer and he is part of this Imagism movement. Imagism is a movement stressing on the precision and economy of language. Each word that an Imagist poet writes will have a precision, and the idea or the images they present will be very clear. He worked in London as a foreign editor of several American literary magazines. He helped discover and shape the work of contemporaries like T.S. Eliot, Ernest Hemingway, and James Joyce. And he is responsible for the serialization of Joyce, A Portrait of Artist as a Young Man, and Ulysses, and T.S. Eliot's The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. He has written this work, the Pisan Cantos, in 1948, and this work was awarded the Bollingen Prize for Poetry in 1949. Another work, Lumo Spendo, the title is from Dante's Purgatorio, and this alludes to the death of Manfred, king of Sicily. This work is dedicated to his friend from university, an artist named William Brooks Smith, who had died of tuberculosis. Coming to Imagism, Imagism gained its initial status with the writings of H.D. Doolittle. H.D. Doolittle had met Richard Aldington, and they found that their ideas on poetry are very similar. And Pound is the one who ascribed the Imagist background, or the Pound said that Doolittle had written her works in an Imagist way. The specialities of Imagism is that they treat directly the subject, and they use absolutely no word that does not contribute to the presentation, and as regard to rhythm, to compose in the sequence of the musical phrase, and they don't make it in a metronome. They compose in the sequence of a musical phrase. One such example for Imagist poetry is Inner Station of the Metro. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough. This was published in 1913. There are only 2 lines in this poem, and these 2 lines show very good imagery, and there is nothing else other than imagery in this poem, and this imagery will make us think. The Imagist poets, they think that it is very important while you write to give some images to the readers. They think that the readers should be capable of bringing out images, and they should be capable of identifying the images that the writer presents. Then Des Imagistes, an anthology edited by Pound, is the anthology of the Imagist poets. It included 10 poems by Richard Aldington, 7 by H.D. Doolittle, his wife, then poems by F.S. Flint, Skipwith Cannell, Amy Lowell, William Carlos Williams, James Joyce, 6 by Pound, Then Ford Madox Hufer's poems. It's Ford himself. He was known during those period as Ford Madox Hufer. Then Alan Upward and John Kouros. Then coming to the three cantos, this is Pound's largest poem, and it is said of this poem, it's the serpentine poem of immeasurable length. This poem is of great length. Coming to the next work, Hugh Selwyn Moberly, it depicts the life of a poet like Ezra Pound, and this marked his farewell to London, and he went to Paris, and he was very disillusioned with the life in England. He believed that there is no use in staying in England. This work was published in 1920. That's all about